Ba't ganon? Ang galing ng mga Japanese gumawa ng anime. Pumukaw sa aking interes ang husay ng mga Japanese sa paggawa ng anime. Marahil dahil na rin sa nagtuturo ako ng kultura ng Asian countries as a teacher. At siguro dala na rin ng pagkahilig ng mga Pinoy sa mga comics, manga, or animation. So, simulan na natin ang topic na ito. Namakura Gatana, ang kauna-unahang anime na na-produce sa Japan. Ang kahulugan ng Namakura Gatana ay mapurol na espada. That was made sometimes in the year 1917. Pero ang pinakaunang basic form ng anime ay nabuo or nagawa noong taong 1906. Subalit ito ay hindi daw legitimate ayon sa paniniwala ng iba. The short animated film was called Katsudo Shashin. Depicts a young boy drawing the Japanese characters for Katsudo Shashin na ginamitan ng 15 iba't ibang frame, each of which was stenciled onto a strip of celluloid, a type of thermoplastic film. There have been several claims that other films entered Japan around this time too, but none have been able to be fully verified. According ito sa website ng japanjunkie.com. Ayon naman sa Quora.com, ang sabi naman ay si Shimokawa Oten or si Shimokawa is currently regarded as the oldest confirmed Japanese animation film, having been released in February 1917. Okinawa-born Shimokawa, 1892 hanggang 1973 ang lifespan niya. Was a disciple of manga artist Rakuten Kitazawa and worked for the film production company Tenenshoku Gatsudo Shashin. He was 24 years old when the Kobu was first released. Rakuten Kitazawa is a pen name of Kitazawa Yasuji. Ito talaga ang kanyang tunay na pangalan. Kitazawa Yasuji was a Japanese manga artist and Nihonga artist. He drew many editorial cartoons and comic strips during the years from the late Meiji era through the early Showa era. He is considered by many historians to be the founding father of modern manga because his work was an inspiration to many younger manga artists and animators. He was the first professional cartoonist in Japan and the first to use the term manga in its modern sense. Isang manga artist na nag-drawing ng maraming editorial cartoons and comic strips bago ang Meiji era at siya raw ang father of modern manga at kauna-unang professional cartoonist ng Japan at ng taong gumamit ng salitang manga. Sa edad na 14, naging disipulo ni Kitazawa na founder ng manga magazine Tokyo Puck na tinanggap naman sa Christian Academy Aoyama Gakuen dahil nga nirecommend siya ni Kitazawa. After ni Rakuten sa Tokyo Puck noong 1912, he began publishing ng mga bagong magazine na tinawag na Rakuten Puck. Hinikayat muli ang kanyang disipulo habang ginagawa for the new magazine in 1916. Nagkakilala naman si Shimokawa at si Tenkatsu na na-invite siyang gumawa ng kauna-unahang anime, and the rest was history. Now, let's talk about Astro Boy. Si Astro Boy naman ay isang likhang sining ni Osamu Tezuka na umere sa Fuji TV noong January 1, 1963 na naging malaganap sa Western countries. Pero ba't ganon? Naging sikat sa East Asia ang anime. Ayon sa history, the invention of hiragana and katakana, the Japanese unique syllabaries, ang tingin ko na nagsimula ng pagkahilig ng mga Japanese sa visual arts or mga drawing. Ano ba yung hiragana? At ano ba yung katana? I-discuss natin yan. So, what is Japanese calligraphy? Japanese calligraphy, also known as shodo. Ang wika kasi nila is hiragana and katakana. Nung naimbento yung mga ganitong paraan ng pakikipagtalastasan. At nagkaroon naman ng shodo. Ang shodo kasi, yun yung art nila sa pagsusulat. Ang tawag sa art ng pagsulat ay calligraphy. So, shodo is the art of writing by hand to create letters or symbols using a brush dipped in ink. It's beautiful art form as well as a means of communication. True Japanese calligraphy is done with a bamboo brush and sumi ink. So, ano ba meaning na shodo? Shodo is the way of writing. So, i-connect ko ang shodo at manga for the meantime. The history of manga is said to originate from scrolls dating back to the 12th century. And it is believed they represent the basis for the right-to-left reading style. The word first came into common usage in the late 18th century. Manga is a Japanese term that can be translated as comics. Historians and writers on manga history have described two broad and complementary processes shaping modern manga. Their views differ in the relative importance they attribute to the role of cultural and historical events following World War II versus the role of pre-war Meiji and pre-Meiji Japanese culture and art. The distinctive Japanese writing system developed and calligraphers produced styles intrinsic to Japan. So, yung pagsulat nila ay parang yun yung nagsilang ng panibagong arts, which is manga. Yung manga, sa salitang naiintindihan natin, comics. So, yung kultura nila sa pagsulat is nadala nila sa kanilang pagiging creative sa pagdodrawing. Yan. Truly notable calligraphic writing takes decades to master and can be valued as much as paintings and other forms of Japanese art. The practice is more than art. It's a harmonious and philosophical process that is expressed through a careful configuration of brush strokes. Japanese calligraphy fuses poetry, literature, and painting by possessing rhythm, emotion, aesthetic, and spirituality in one unique art form. It's such an important aspect of Japanese culture and ideas that it's even introduced to Japanese children as early as elementary school. The foundation of Japanese calligraphy originated in China during the Han Dynasty. with all basic form developed by 220 AD. It was introduced in Japan in the 6th century AD as a means to stay in contact between countries. So, ganun yung naging history ng kanilang pagkahilig sa pagdodrawing. Though ideographic elements have been found in writing systems since roughly 2500 BC, the Japanese calligraphic manuscript became so sophisticated that it is admired by cultures all over the world today. So, let's talk about calligraphers. So, ang sikat na calligraphers ay si Ono no Michikaze, a prominent government official, poet, and calligrapher. Is considered the founder of Japanese calligraphy. Kaya yun, sa aking palagay, ang kultura ng pagsulat ng mga Japanese at ang pagpainting nila ay nag-emerge kaya nabuo ang mga manga na comics sa ating pagkakaunawa sa ating wika. Comics kasi ang alam natin sa mga ganitong babasahin noong araw. Ngayon, nung makagawa ang Japanese ng paraan para mapakilos at mapagalaw ang mga drawings, ito ay nagsimula or dito na nagsimula talaga ang napaka-imaginative way ng mga tao sa paggawa ng anime. So, dito nagsimula ang animation. So, ganon kagaling ang Japanese dahil yung kanilang pagsulat ay connected sa kanilang pagdodrawing. Yung pagdodrawing is part ng kanilang kultura.